The complexity of the post-pandemic digital workplace, coupled with the escalation of cyber attacks, has only served to heighten the need for security at all levels of business infrastructure and advanced strategies for privacy protection for data. We spoke with 3 leaders in the cybersecurity MSSP space on how it is evolving to meet the increasing opportunities and challenges. Tesserent's CEO, Kurt Hansen, believes that the fundamental trend in the security sector is that it is accelerating.
So for those of us like myself that have been in cybersecurity for some years now, more than a decade, or a couple of decades for me probably, we've been through a period where we've had to evangelize the need for cybersecurity. What I'm seeing now is that need has never gone away, but I think boardrooms around the country, senior executives around the country, the regulatory authorities, including ATSIC, and various other regulators sort of see the risks that are in the place. The federal government is actually probably one of the biggest proponents now of cybersecurity. So I think about 18 months ago, Scott Morrison came out and increased the investment in cybersecurity due to the threats that he saw coming to the country. So when he took up the marketing arm for those of us in cybersecurity, it was a terrific moment. So the last couple of years have been really terrific. So our teams are just very busy at the moment, working with clients to, put information security frameworks in place. There's no point spending money on technology until you actually know the risks that you're trying to avoid. So you need a very firm strategy. You've also got to approach, I think another big trend is that most clients know that it's not if, but when they will be breached, or that they'll have an intervention in terms of cyber activity. So they need to be able to make sure they put in place a response plan, and that they've got an incident response plan, and that they know that recovery is going to be very important as well. Obviously, the number of technology vendors is the other big thing. The investment in cybersecurity that's been increasing in the last few years has brought a wealth of cybersecurity startups. Probably not a week that goes by that a new startup doesn't hire their first couple of employees in Australia. So increasingly, I think clients are looking for help to help them make the right decisions on technology. But also with that wealth of technology that's really been exploding, a lot of clients they see the need to purchase some of that technology to put in place controls, but they're not able to hang on to staff to actually manage and make sense of that technology.
For Brennan IT Managing Director Dave Stevens, it is the sophistication of clients' security demands that is driving growth in the MSSP market.
The things that are really driving on growth in the security side of our world is really that client maturity. They're becoming a lot more aware of what their security posture is, and a lot more aware of what their risks are. Once they understand the risks, that they're then more likely to travel down a roadmap that we create for them around security maturity, and more likely to invest. And so that's driving a lot of transformation work where we're hardening their environments. It's also driving uptake of training and more the soft skills, cybersecurity, and they're increasing their investment in terms of monitoring and management as well. So really, the maturity is driving the growth overall, but it's not just driving it on our transform side of our business, it's also driving it on the managed side. Clients are far more interested now in terms of, what breaches are happening in their environment and what the response to those breaches are in real time. And that's something that's relatively new in the corporate market. Lots of financial clients were very interested in that, in those sorts of things. But we're now seeing that come out in clients like architects and professional services, not-for-profits are very interested.
Customer expectations have also been transformed by the pandemic as work life moved squarely into the digital domain, with the risks of data vulnerability.
The biggest thing the pandemic brought was a mobile workforce from a security perspective. All of a sudden we had the users of clients, employees, operating out of environments that, potentially open Wi-Fi, wireless access points, potentially operating from devices that, weren't secured, and, significant risks were introduced to the environment just as that work from home kind of process, or that work from home motion started. And that was something new for clients largely, and it was certainly something new for us as an MSSP.
As the security sector grows at pace, the challenge of securing and retaining skilled staff is a paramount issue for MSPs. InfoTrust CEO Dane Meyer discusses strategies for hiring outside of market constraints.
Now, as with a lot of industries in IT, security is no different. Skills continues to be a shortage. There's a lack of the right personnel available on the market. So that represents a huge opportunity to MSPs and service providers to deliver skills that the customers are unable to find on the open market. But it also, as often is the case, it also represents a risk, because those MSPs can't scale their businesses quickly enough because of the lack of resources. So it's a double-edged sword, but it's also a big opportunity if you can crack the skills nut. A key strategy when it comes to hiring and retaining staff is about creating a culture that people want to come and work in, that's rewarding, challenging, fun, but also somewhere where people want to come and work in the modern way of working. In today's world, you have to consider remote working and engaging your staff in different ways. So you have to integrate your security culture into your existing culture. So really, that's a key strategy when it comes to finding and retaining staff.
According to the CRN research into IT buyer attitudes, the level of support ranked highest in terms of client needs, with price ranking the least important.
Price is often not the most important factor when it comes to choosing a security service. The old saying goes, cheap is expensive. So the most important things for organizations is quality first, expertise in the specific area that the customer is demanding, and then the ongoing support that is delivered. So I agree with the findings in the report, but I did want to touch on the way that a customer engages and the important factors when considering the development of these services. Often the priority is developing a high capability around the technical area and building out your actual offering, but then less consideration is given to client account management and support in that regard. Our research, our experience has shown us that the client account management component can be just as important.
And now to Enable for the last word.
The security challenges that MSPs are facing today has forced them to adapt and evolve. Since we succeed when our partners succeed, that means we've had to evolve too. We've added new security tools, additional resources for our partners to leverage. Even myself, as a member of the Head Nerds, are a part of our efforts to ensure that our MSP partners have the tools and the resources they need to be profitable and proficient.